I'm John, and tonight I want answers about gun control in the Peregrine Falcon. There's no stopping us now because we're live.
John wants answers. John wants answers. Give John answers. Give John answers. John wants answers. John wants answers. Give John answers now.
Check your calendar. If it says April 12th, 2018, then we're live.
Why am I the only guy that dances during the opening music?
I'm too busy starting the timer so we know when to stop talking.
But that's what the director does.
No, yeah. I need to know ahead of time.
I
need a countdown.
It seems it's that classy music that guy wrote for us, and you're just ignoring it.
No, I'm kind of doing this.
No, you're not. I looked over. You were not. You were just...
On the show tonight is the legendary Keith Stattenfield. We'll be taking your tweets. You can tweet us at JohnWantsAnswer, and then we'll read them later in the show. Yeah. Or if you don't like Twitter, we don't like Twitter.
We don't, no.
Go to my website, johnwantsanswers.com, click on the contact link, and you can send us a message directly here to me, and we'll read those as well.
As I understand, we're not live on the internet tonight.
Correct.
So tonight is a useful test. Like if we get no tweets, then we'll know that only people that watch us are on the internet.
Typically, the tweets all come from inside the studio.
Yeah. I didn't want to give away the magic, John.
All right, our first topic, gun control. Oh, I think...
Can you really call it the first topic if it's the only topic?
Well, we're going to have another topic.
Are we?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
looking
opinions
forward to that one.
Stated here are my own, not necessarily those of my company. So...
Probably not in this case.
Maybe. Yeah, we'll see.
Who knows?
I want to talk about gun control this month for 4 reasons.
Okay.
So, recently...
You don't need to write the fourth reason down because you're going to say it in like 30 seconds.
My memory is really that bad.
Okay.
Okay. So, a few months ago we had the Las Vegas shooting. A lot of people...
It happened.
Shot.
I don't want to say we had it.
Well, humans had it.
It was bad.
There was the Parkland shooting in Florida.
Yes.
Then some lady came to my company and started shooting people.
Yes. Shooting at people.
And then it's also the anniversary of Columbine. Yeah. So that was April 20th. So was that like 20 years ago?
I don't know. It was a while ago.
Long time ago. That's like the first mass school shooting. Does that sound right? I don't remember hearing about...
They've all blended together. There have been so many of them.
I don't remember knowing about a mass shooting before that. That seemed to me like the first one. I don't know if that's because news was invented. Like...
Invented?
Yeah.
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 Like before that, people just talked to each other.
Right. So like, enough time has gone by since I think now is a good time to have a discussion about guns because we did it the day after a shooting.
Yeah, you're right. You can't
be too soon.
If there's been a shooting in the last
week or two or
90 days, it's too soon.
Too soon. So I think
and if it's more than 93 days ago, then odds are whatever we did fixed it. So let's not talk about it anymore.
Okay.
Because we might screw it up worse.
It hasn't been quite 90 days since Parkland. That happened in February.
I know.
And here we are in April.
Yeah, let's not. Yeah, and then that third one was like 2 weeks ago or a week.
Another one?
It was a week ago.
What was a week ago?
No, the one up.
Oh yeah, the one where someone came to my company and started shooting people. Yeah. So there are 2 sides to the debate. So there's the gun control advocates, and then there's the gun rights advocates.
Yes.
And I guess a warning to our viewers, I think we're a bit on the gun control side.
We're not on the gun side. We're not on the unrestricted gun rights side.
Yes.
Maybe the
So I think the opposite sides tend to describe the opposite side as more extreme maybe than they are. So like I
think the other side describes us as extreme, whereas they actually are extreme.
So, as gun control advocates,
as people that believe that realistic and effective limitations on some of the more extremely claimed rights to possess weapons by anyone for any reason, under any circumstance. I want to clarify who you're talking about.
So we might be accused of wanting no guns. They say, all these gun control people want to take away my guns, all guns, so we are defenseless, which I don't think is the case. I mean, I'm sure there are people like that.
Still got fists.
I think so. And then on the other side, you and I might think that the gun rights advocates want tanks, they want their own nuclear bombs, and missiles, which is probably not what really most gun rights people want.
Probably not. I mean, especially the missiles. And they're very large.
Oh, a tank's large too.
Yeah, but a missile.
How big is a nuclear bomb? Is that like small or that
Like
big?
a suitcase.
A suitcase. Oh, so
Yeah.
smaller than a missile.
Well, definitionally, because you could put them inside of a missile.
Well, yeah, okay. All right. So, I think most people are really more in the middle than those extremes.
Good guess.
But I think there's a problem here with the NRA. That, I think, is the problem. Because who do they represent?
Nominally, they represent their members.
I don't think they do.
Well, they do, because their members include people that make guns. And
Yeah.
people that want to sell guns.
But, I mean, I've heard that NRA members are in favor of, like, background checks, universal background checks.
If you ask, the
But the NRA would say
significant
no.
fraction of the membership of the NRA believes that you should probably have background checks when you buy a gun.
But I have the feeling that the NRA themselves
Vehemently against it.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't think they represent the people. I think they represent gun manufacturers.
Or other people who want to sow dissent and discontent.
So I got myself the Bill of Rights.
Okay.
I should have grabbed it earlier.
Yeah, you should have.
Here it is.
Speaking of that, why am I surrounded by pictures of your head from 15 years ago?
These are John Wants Answers mugs.
Yeah, can I have one?
Don't you have one already?
I do. I want another one.
Another one? How many?
I'm giving it to my friend John. He wanted one. He saw it on Facebook. He's like, how do I get one of those?
I'm your friend, John.
Not you.
Oh.
I mean, yes, you are my friend, and you are named John.
Here is the original Bill of Rights.
Wow.
Okay. So
I
I'm
thought it
going
was
to
in
read.
Washington, D.C.
Well, you know,
And is this,
you saw the movie,
is this like
right?
a Nicolas Cage thing?
Yes, yes. Got it from Nicolas Cage. Okay. So, Article the Second.
Article 2.
No law varying the compensation for the services of the senators and... This can't be right.
It is right.
That's not the old guns. How about the third one? Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion.
Yes, nor abridging the freedom of the press. But continue, go on.
Wait, I thought the Second Amendment was something different.
No.
Here, Article the Fourth. Oh, here we go. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security for a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. There's a lot of weird commas in that one sentence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of assume they got paid by the comma. Or the flowery capital.
So when was that passed?
Funny question. Second Amendment, right? The first two were not passed. They presented 12. And the last 10 were ratified.
That's why.
So what?
When I read the
First two.
it's read the second.
That second one eventually got passed.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But like 10 years ago.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Wait, there's a new one. The Bill of Rights had a new one from 10 years ago
Yeah, technically that second one is now like the
compensation
27th Amendment or something.
of the services of senators.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So when was these Bill of Rights passed?
1789.
1789, long time ago. So,
Okay, yeah. I mean, not geologically, but
well, I mean,
like dinosaurs were gone.
right. But we didn't have assault
But we didn't have
weapons.
We didn't have cell
Then.
phones, so
We didn't have cell phones. We didn't have assault rifles.
we did not.
Did we just have, were muskets like
Cannons,
the best we
had
had?
cannons.
Oh, cannons.
They did have muskets.
No muskets?
They did have muskets.
Oh, they did muskets. How about pistols?
Yes.
Okay. Semi-automatic weapons?
No.
No.
Well, not really.
Okay.
Like they had a thing that we would call a very poorly functioning machine gun.
So, this is confusing, right? People have debated what they meant for years and years and years.
Yeah, like 50.
As I understand it, back then, the Union had just, 10 years earlier been created. They weren't sure whether they wanted the federal government to have a military or have all the states have their own military. Right?
Or have no standing army whatsoever.
That was an option too?
Well, yeah,
Wow.
that's in fact how they came down.
We'd always
They had no standing army for a long time.
Oh. They must have had an army for the revolution, I guess. That was earlier, yeah.
Well, it wasn't a stand. I mean,
Okay.
they did not have people in the army in times of peace.
Okay. So, do states have militias now?
States have national guards,
National Guard.
which is kind of what the militias became.
Okay, so California has
But even the National Guard is a little more organized than the militias back then.
Okay. So we have a National Guard that California can deploy troops around the
Yes.
state. What kind of things would they be deployed for?
Well, members of the National Guard got called up during the war/conflict in Iraq and sent over there.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
they were not pleased.
No, that would suck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they said. That's how they described it, in fact.
This sucks.
They
man.
used other words.
Okay.
We're currently sending members of the National Guard down to patrol the border with Mexico.
Yeah.
National Guard members often get called up during national disasters or other things within the states. Forest fires, they've sometimes called it the National Guard.
Okay, so the Second Amendment talked about an arm.
Yes.
Does that refer to a weapon, or does it refer specifically to a gun?
I think largely it's what we would call a gun or something like a gun. I think if you had a rifle with a bayonet on the end, they might still call that an arm, even though in a sense it's a pokey knife
it's a
that you can
stabby
also
thing?
stab someone with.
Yeah.
I don't know if, they probably would have considered cannons arms.
Oh, so they were already thinking about that. Now, we currently do not have unfettered access to weapons, to guns, right? So, like today, I cannot own a automatic assault rifle, right?
Correct.
And I can't have a tank. And that's just been modified to not be
You can own
tanky.
a tank, provided it can't fire
Right. So the gun part.
armaments.
The gun part's taken out. And I can't have a nuclear weapon, right?
I think if you have a nuclear weapon, it changes the whole landscape. So,
Okay. And we also have other restrictions, not just on the weapon type. You can't be a felon. If
people
Definitely.
convicted of felonies are
Yeah.
generally prohibited from owning weapons.
there's an age limit, is that true?
It depends on the state. California has more restrictive laws than a lot of other states.
Okay.
Like, I don't believe there's a federal age limit on owning weapons, but there is an age limit in California.
Okay. Now, I heard if you have a restraining order, I think in California at least, if you have a restraining order
In
against you,
California, I think if there's a restraining order against you, you're not allowed to have a weapon for a while, for like a couple weeks, and then a judge in those couple weeks has to have a hearing, and the judge can impose a much longer period when you're not allowed to own weapons, or decide that you are allowed to own
Okay.
or continue to own weapons.
and now we can't just walk around with our guns, like open carry, that's called, right? You can't walk around with a gun. It has to be like,
I know in
rounds?
California you need a permit for concealed carry.
which I heard in this county is almost
And-
impossible to get.
In
Right.
most counties, it's pretty hard to get. You have to get it from,
Sheriff?
Well, from whoever your local police is. Around here, most cities have their own police forces, so it would be your police department. Some areas don't have municipal police departments, so it would be the sheriff of the county. There are some counties where the sheriffs or police departments do issue concealed carry. But even so, you have to be of good moral character, which generally means you couldn't have been convicted of a felony or a misdemeanor. And you have to have good cause, which means you have to have some reason you think you need a concealed carry thing. So, like in some places, security guards or ex-police officers are able to get concealed carry licenses. But if you just want to carry around a gun because you think it makes you look cool, they are unlikely to accept that as a reason to give you a concealed carry license.
You wouldn't look cool because it'd be concealed.
Well, there's a little bulge.
Oh, okay. I'm just happy to see you.
A little bulge.
Just happy to see you.
Is how you know that
What if,
good time is forthcoming.
but open carry is different because you're not concealing, you're just holding it in the air. Now, some places you can do
think
that,
that's
right?
a bad idea.
But is it illegal? Now, I think in California, I think it is, but I think there's
I
places
think
where it's not.
Thankfully, I have not needed to know
Okay.
whether I could open carry my weaponry. And so I'm unclear. I think I've seen people in California walking around with rifles over their shoulder at protests. So I believe open carry is at least reasonably legal in some public places.
Okay.
I know you can't open carry on schools.
Right.
I think the same is true of churches and hospitals and some other places.
Okay. Now, the 2017 Las Vegas shooting in October is when a gunman opened fire on a crowd of concertgoers, leaving 58 people dead and 851 injured. So in 10 minutes, fired more than 1,100 rounds.
Yeah.
So what kind of gun did the shooter use?
I believe he used a semi-automatic.
And how is a semi-automatic different than an automatic?
Automatic weapon, you can depress the trigger and it will fire bullets
So as long as you hold it.
as long as you hold the trigger down or until your magazine runs out of bullets.
Yeah.
Semi-automatic requires you to release and press the trigger again
Okay.
to continue firing.
Okay.
I don't recall if the semi-automatic can only fire one bullet when you press or if it can fire, like some will fire 2 bullets when you press the trigger.
Now, what is a bump fire stock? I think this guy used a bump fire stock.
I think he used a bump stock. Bump stock is a device that replaces the stock or surrounds the stock at the back and loops around to the trigger, and it uses the recoil from the gun to repeatedly press the trigger.
Kind of turning it into an automatic
Kind
weapon.
of turning it into an automatic weapon. But since it's a separate thing from the gun, when you bought the gun, it wasn't an automatic weapon.
Right.
And
Does it seem
so
reasonable?
it's a hack. It's a hack.
Does it seem reasonable that these weapons would be needed for personal defense?
Well, I don't think so, but we knew that 10 minutes ago when we started this conversation.
So for this guy in Las Vegas, were all these weapons obtained legally?
I believe all of them were.
Oh, so then
Clearly the vast majority of them were.
clearly we've introduced legislation to stop this, right?
I must have missed that.
Oh,
I try to read the paper every day, but maybe one of the days I didn't read the paper is when they printed the article about how they introduced legislation which would significantly restrict the ability of people to buy arsenals of mass destruction.
all right. Well, we have to take a break right now.
Okay.
When we come back, we are going to talk more about gun control, and we're going to take some Canadian imported messages. So, see you soon.
The Peregrine Falcon is one of the most spectacular aerial hunters. often attaining a speed of over 150 miles an hour in a dive. He's helped in the hunt for food by telescopic eyes that are larger than a man's. The peregrine nests on craggy ledges and will lay from 2 to 6 eggs. But the indiscriminate use of insecticides has sharply limited the falcon's ability to reproduce, and it's now extinct in eastern Canada. The remaining peregrines breed from Alaska to Greenland, and migrate to wintering grounds in California and Florida. For more information on the peregrine falcon, contact the Canadian Wildlife Service in Ottawa.
And we're back. So
It's kind of cool. Like, why did they have to put the word falcon in the name Peregrine Falcon? Like, why couldn't we just call them peregrines?
aren't those characters in like Harry Potter?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
No?
Those are owls. You're
Oh.
thinking of owls.
Okay.
Like, we don't. Well, I was going to say we don't like grizzly bear. I guess has bear at the end. So it's
Yeah, it's
maybe it's a Canadian
It's not
thing.
without
Like in
precedent.
America, we just name the animal. We don't name the animal and then put the name of the animal after the name of the animal.
how to bobcat. We
Well,
have
it's one word.
we
That's
have
one word.
bobcats in
Bobcat. It's not like bobcat cat.
Okay, so I was in Canada and I went shooting
Okay.
and I was pretty good. Look at this. So for the
What I
first
want to
time,
know is why does this guy have 2 circles by his head? Like when
Those-
would you ever shoot here if there was a guy?
no, because these are his posse who are behind him, and these are the heads of the posse behind him.
Okay. What about these? Like these are innocent bystanders.
Yeah.
Like this one here is like little Susie. Like little Susie at the preschool. And I'm just
No,
gonna
no,
say
there
this is the Bobbsey triplets.
I
They're- And it's a
took
good thing they all went at the same time, because it would have killed, it would have killed the one that was left behind to have to bury the other 2 Bobbseys.
I took 8 minutes of gun safety training before I did this.
Okay.
Okay, and my first shot was like here in the head.
Yeah. How close were you?
It was like 30 or 40 feet, I guess. You have those little buttons where you like press it and it goes.
Weren't you in Canada?
Yeah, I was in Canada.
Why do you say feet?
Because I'm talking to you, who's an American, who wouldn't understand what
No, I
25
understand
meters
the
would be.
metric system.
Okay. So I have shot guns before. This was a silhouette, a bad silhouette, and so I was a good silhouette, and so I had to shoot the bad silhouette.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bring it back.
Okay.
What I'm noticing is you tend to aim a little bit to your left. Like there's a whole cluster over here. Like the whole.
Yeah, I'm always going left. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if viewers have noticed, but at the end of every show, we get shot at.
You get
This
shot
is our no.
I am collateral
both,
damage.
We both get hit. We get shot at to let us know that hey, it's show's over, time to wrap things up.
Yeah. If
So-
only someone had a timer on his iPad, which he laboriously sets up at the beginning of each show and then ignores. But go on.
So I asked my friends in Canada
Okay.
about guns, and I
Yes.
got 2 responses.
Okay.
So I went
How many friends do you have in Canada?
many, but 2 of
So
them
a
responded.
very low percentage replied.
I didn't
so
ask
That's
all
pretty
of them.
typical.
So that was with my friend Sheldon. So he's a gun owner from Canada. And I
Okay.
asked him a lot of questions. So are the same automatic weapons banned in Canada compared to the U.S.? He says an AR-15 is legal but restricted. So you just can't buy one.
A.
You need a special gun license for that. An AK-47 though is not legal.
A.
All automatic rifles are prohibited.
A.
Tanks not allowed.
A.
All firearm owners have to take a course. So you don't just go and get a permit or do a background check and then get a gun. You have to take a course
Yeah.
before you can buy
At like a Canadian college. It's probably
fire
covered.
possess.
Like the cost of the course is covered by the government.
No.
What?
We don't have universal education, just healthcare.
Oh.
So when you get shot, then you can go to the hospital and get free
Well,
So
how
no.
convenient.
after you misuse your firearm. There's a restricted and a non-restricted course. So I guess it depends which you want the higher caliber weapons. You need the restricted course, I guess.
Do you even know what caliber is?
It's how big the bullet is.
Yeah, okay. So no, you don't know what caliber is.
Now, there's also some background checks. If you have a criminal past, you will not get a license. So similar to here, like if you're a felon. Open carry is not allowed.
No.
Concealed carry, only special circumstances, like here, like if you're a police and you're being stalked by the mob or something. An exception to open carry is if you live in the boonies, like Yukon, because bears are everywhere.
Really?
Yeah, there's bears everywhere, so you need a gun with you to protect yourself. And in fact, so that was my friend.
I've got a.
You got a question?
If everyone has a gun, and bears are everywhere, why are bears still everywhere? I mean, it's
Well, by
seems
everywhere,
to me
I mean
that's a thing that would have been fixed.
I mean by everywhere, I mean it's plausible you could come upon a bear in your daily activities. Not like it's going to be there's everywhere and you will see one.
Okay,
It's
so that
plausible
was like a
just like this story,
hyperbole.
like this story right here. So Darcy Samulak, who was my physical education teacher in high school,
Good Lord.
and you can imagine, I was a poor physical education
Yeah,
student.
I assume you got snapped the towel at you a lot in
Not
school.
not by him, but yeah, I did.
yeah. I mean, he was aware of it, and he didn't do anything to stop them. We know that.
I don't know about that. Okay, maybe. So he's got a gun license, and he has a lot, but he puts it in a locked gun cabinet. He doesn't need a 30-shot clip for fun for an assault weapon, he says. But he told me a story about a neighbor in my town, of Fruitvale, my village, where middle of the night, this guy wakes up because there's a bear in his basement. Like the bear just opened the door, walked in, closed the door behind him, I guess by mistake.
Did the bear have a hat on?
No, I don't think so, no. There's no information in this article about a hat.
Okay.
But so the owners tried to scare the bear out.
What was the bear's name?
Shoo, Smokey. Shoo, bear, shoo. And then, but the bear got cornered and started acting dangerous. So he had to shoot the bear. With his 12 gauge shotgun.
Okay.
He shot the bear. So, I mean, sometimes you need a gun.
Sometimes you need to murder a bear.
For when bears are in your
can't
house
just
and you can't get out.
close the door to your basement and wait for the bear to leave.
I think it was at the ground.
Because
in Canada, the basements were like you get out of your house, in and out of your house.
that's the first floor.
Yeah, it's also
That's also the basement?
sometimes.
Wait, so you're saying you've got to go underground?
If you got a
to
bear
leave
in your house who's acting dangerous, I don't know why you're a bear defender all of a sudden.
I'm just saying.
Steps had to be taken. Okay. Wow. We are out of time. I have like 18 pages left. So in Florida.
I don't think you do have 18 pages left. But go on.
In Florida, there was another shooting.
There was there?
They tried to do.
Like during this show?
No, in February at the school.
Yeah. Parkland.
And then Governor Rick Scott signed a bill that raised minimum age for buying rifles to 21.
Yeah.
Waiting periods and background checks.
Yeah.
Arming of teachers. And banned bump stocks.
Yeah.
And if you had mental illness, you might not be allowed to get a gun.
Yeah.
So that passed, and then right away the NRA, who's not on our side, filed a lawsuit that challenged the federal constitutionality of the age requirement.
Look, it's credits.
Yeah, this show is like wrapping
we're
up
out
real
of
soon. April 3rd,
Someone had an iPad.
a lady came to my company, YouTube. Well, I don't work for YouTube, but I work for Google. A lady came to Google
I won't say that.
and started shooting people with a
Wasn't the
Smith
whole
&
point of
Wesson.
that thing at the beginning of the show to not let anyone know you work?
No, I mean, it just means that they don't agree with me.
No. Well, that's,
Yeah.
we all do that.
Only thing that stops a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun.
Yeah,
Unless
well,
there's a lot of good guys running toward the scene of the crime and they can't figure out who the bad guy is.
good guy with a knife on a stick. Or a
Guns don't kill
good guy
people.
who's really good at talking to people.
Guns don't kill people.
shooting
People
you.
kill people. And pianos that fall on people kill people. So
They're large safe. Big plate glass window.
good job. Oh.